The ending of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes introduced some pretty big ideas and opened the doors for future Apes films to go in a variety of different directions. Among all of the theories and speculation that fans have come up with in regards to which direction that could be, there's one theory that, if it were to happen, could see the return of one of the most divisive concepts that the Planet of the Apes franchise has ever introduced, the mutants. If you like what I do here and want to show your support, be sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all things Apes. Enjoy the video. Everybody, and welcome to Ape Nation, your number one source for all things Planet of the Apes on YouTube. My name is Josh, and with the year finally coming to an end and the holiday season in full swing, I had a couple more videos I wanted to get out to you guys, and I wanted to make them some fun and interesting things to talk about. And so today I wanted to discuss something that some fans may love, while others may really hate, and that would be my theory on if, how, and when we could see the mutants finally make their debut in the modern Planet of the Apes movies, and why Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes just might have been the first step towards them eventually being introduced. Now, as anybody who has seen the movie knows, during the final moments of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, after her conversation with Noah, May departs the ape village with the SATCOM key that she took from Proximus's vault and completes her mission, delivering it to the hidden bunker that is revealed to be made up of a community of more intelligent humans just like May. Of course, this sets the stage for a greater conflict between those humans and Noah's apes to play a role in the following films, but what if there's something else at play, and the fate of these humans could be radically different than the ones we saw take on Caesar and his apes in War for the Planet of the Apes. A few weeks ago, I made a video discussing a different theory, one also about where the next few films could go, and what Noah's trilogy could ultimately be about. The theory I talked about in that video was about the potential human-ape war, and how and why it could ultimately be a war for technology, and what that could mean for these characters as well as Earth's future. I wanted to circle back to that theory because it goes hand in hand with what I've been thinking could be happening here with the humans revealed at the end of Kingdom and even May herself. I think that the humans we see get introduced could in fact be this universe's version of the very first mutants. Now, for those who have not seen the first sequel to the original 1968 Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, the mutants were introduced in that film as the result of the nuclear war that broke out across the planet between humans many generations earlier, resulting in certain human survivors to be physically deformed but biologically far more advanced with telepathic abilities.
She helped me to break out of Ape City. Oh, wait a minute! Stop it! I can't understand you. You're all screaming at me at the same time. I can't separate.
He's right. He has only limited intelligence. We should speak aloud.
While some fans loved their introduction and found them to be a fascinating and exciting new part of the Planet of the Apes lore, other fans, well, weren't quite as big on them, making them one of the franchise's more controversial aspects. But getting back to that first theory about that war for technology and how it ultimately ties into this theory of mine, it all comes back to the end of Kingdom and that new group of intelligent humans that will inevitably be a rising threat in the next Apes film. Assuming that we do see this war become real, and it is one over the power of technology that includes weapons, what if it's through this war that we finally see the introduction of nuclear weapons? What if at the end of this trilogy, as some sort of last-ditch effort to take out the apes, these newly introduced humans find, or maybe even build, and use a nuclear bomb? Obviously, we've seen the cost of nuclear weapons in our own history when 2 of them were used against Japan in World War II, and an estimate of over 200,000 people were killed, a moment that changed the course of human history. Now, imagine that on a larger science fiction scale, with humans who maybe don't know exactly what they're dealing with due to who they are and the era that they're in, and are desperate to keep their species alive at any cost. An event like this would of course be effective in taking out hundreds, if not thousands of apes apes, but would likely cost the same for humans. Not only is it possible that we could see this happen by the end of the trilogy, but with one of the predominant elements of May's character being her relentlessness to restore human dominance, this is something that could and very likely will be a major part of the humans' role in the story going forward, at least in terms of their motivations. But what if, as a result of that hypothetical bomb, this is where our first mutants make their appearance? Whether it's Deacon Lockman's yet unnamed character, or surviving May herself, we could very well see the beginning of humanity's next evolution by the end of this trilogy, with the surviving humans emerging deformed but evolved, assuming all of this were to actually happen, of course. Again, these are all just the theoretical ramblings of a really big Planet of the Apes fan. Still, the hubris of mankind has always been a theme of the Planet of the Apes films, and I think that showcasing that hubris and self-destruction almost as a sort of backdoor launching point or origin story for the mutants would be a really refreshing direction to go in, and would give this modern version of the franchise a way to include them that tonally could fit and narratively make sense. Sure, it could be too much of a jumping the shark moment, and maybe it would just turn off fans who don't like the mutants, as well as the mainstream general audience, but I think it would be a pretty interesting risk to take, which is exactly what Wes Ball said he wanted to do with the sequels to Kingdom when I interviewed him a few months ago.
It's not worth doing unless we take a big swing.
Okay.
Take some big swings.
I like that.
That's what's important. And I think that's what always these movies are. We were really even when I took on this movie in the very beginning, I was not interested in just a kind of shameless cash grab, doing another one. I feel like we had a story to tell here. I feel like we had a swing to make, that felt like this could stand on its own to some degree. It is certainly supported by what came before us, but it was not just a kind of shameless cash grab, whether people like the movie or not. You know what I mean? I think they can at least appreciate that we weren't just kind of like phoning it in here to have another one. And it'll be the same way with the next one. We will want to surprise people. We'll want to go to places that are interesting and thought-provoking. That's the kind of the secret sauce of these movies. They are thinking person's movies wrapped in big, Hollywood blockbuster, stuff. You know what I mean? And so we'll continue with that, and making like challenging choices and making sure that the characters themselves are interesting and deep and profound and challenged, you know what I mean? And go places maybe that are unexpected.
But once again, this is all just mostly baseless speculation on my end. For all I know, the next two films could go in as polar opposite of a direction as this as possible. We could never see the mutants on screen again, and the humans at the end of Kingdom could simply just get killed off in some big battle scene, and that'll be the end of it. Still, it's fun to think about, which is why I want to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know what you think of my theory. Could this be where this new Apes trilogy is heading? Is it something that you would even want? Is it something that you think audiences would even get on board with? Or does it sound like a disaster waiting to happen and should be avoided at all costs? I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out today's video here on Ape Nation. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all things apes. I'll catch you in the next one, so until then, goodbye.